people who read, my name is Marley and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be starting a new reading vlog in honor of Valentine's Day. So I'm going to be reading 3 anticipated romance reads. So I'm going to quickly tell you which books I'm going to be reading this week or the next 2 weeks, and then we can just kind of hop into the vlog. So the first book I want to read is Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. This is a pretty popular romance book, and I know it has to do with 2 characters who are very into fandom, which is always a fun time reading about some relatable, nerdy characters. But I think it's about this girl who's a fan of this fantasy show that is similar to Game of Thrones, and I think like writes fan fiction and stuff. The male character is actually a star in the show, and he writes fan fiction about his own show. They end up going on some sort of date, like I think she wins some sort of fan contest or something where she gets to go on a date with him, but they don't know that they are actually online friends as well. So it's like an online friends secret romance lovers. And then I want to read You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle. This is kind of like a second chance romance, enemies to lovers romance about this couple who is engaged to be married, but they don't want to be married anymore. So they are both trying to get the other one to break up with them so they don't have to pay for like all of the wedding down payments they've already done. And last, I want to read From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata, and this is a slow burn romance about these 2 people who become ice skating partners, and I think it's enemies to lovers as well. They don't like each other, and then while being forced to be partners, they end up falling in love. So very excited to read all of these books, and I think I'm going to start Spoiler Alert first, so I will see you next with my update. Good morning. Cheers. Let's put this at like a higher angle. Okay. So I started reading Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade last night. I only got to 20% of the way through, but I thought I would check in. Guys, I did not realize that this had a male point of view. Like, it has the girls and the guys, which I'm disappointed about because something I learned about myself in the last year is that I don't really like romances that have the male point of view. It's obviously different if it is a male-male romance, because then obviously like you have to, but like for a hetero, I just want to hear from the girlies. I don't really want to hear from the guys. So unfortunately in this book we are hearing from Marcus and April, both of the leads, so we're gonna see how that goes. I'm gonna try not to like judge it too much, but right off the bat I didn't really like that. I didn't really consider it before I started it, but I should have known. Anyways, as I said, we are following Marcus, who is a famous actor. He's approaching 40, so it's sort of interesting. I do remember hearing that this is kind of like an older couple, which is kind of nice to see. But he is a famous actor from this fantasy show. It's like based on Greek mythology, but clearly they're going for a Game of Thrones vibe. He kind of puts off this dumb persona, golden retriever persona to the public, but then secretly he is a huge nerd and he loves book series that the show is based off of, and he actually writes fan fiction about his own TV show, which I'm interested to read more about that, because like, is he writing fan fiction like literally about himself? Like, does he picture himself as the character as he writes? I feel like that's a little weird, but maybe it's just the character that he loves. Anyways, and on this secret profile that he has online, he is friends with this woman who he is assuming is around his age, and they have this sort of like a friendship where they read each other's fan fiction, like beta readers or whatever it's called, for each other. And that girl is April, and she is like 30 something, I think, red hair, and she is plus size. So we're having some plus size rep in this book for sure. She also kind of hides her nerdy side, but she decides to kind of put herself out there a little bit more and post a photo of her cosplaying as this character from that TV show. She gets a lot of hate due to her body, people who are fat shaming her and stuff. Marcus sees it, and because he's actually a nice guy, he responds to it, kind of like hyping her up and then actually asking her out on a date. So she didn't win the date. He like asks her on a date to be nice, kind of like stand with her, show that he doesn't stand for like fat shaming and stuff. And so she goes for it, even though she's not really that interested in him because she thinks he's just this dumb actor. So they go on this first date and it's not really going that well because he is trying to put off that like fake persona still, but she's sort of seeing through it a little bit. So I think it'll be cute. I think it'll get better as it goes. I know it was a little bit rough for me in the first couple chapters, but that happens a lot in books. You just kind of like need time to get into it. I think their chemistry could be cute. It is definitely feeling very unrealistic to me because I'm just like, what 40-year-old man, like, not to sound judgy, but I'm like, what 40-year-old man would do this? Like, would be writing fan fiction about this show and like his character. But maybe they're out there. I don't want to like shame anyone, but I am just finding like this is very like out there. Like, I can't anticipate something like this happening, but I guess that happens a lot in romance. So see how it goes. I have a call for work in like half an hour that I'm gonna be doing. Have quite a bit of work stuff to do this week. Then I am actually seeing Scream tonight, Scream 5. Haven't been able to see it yet because in Ontario we were in lockdown for like the last few weeks, so we couldn't go to movie theaters, but they are now open, so I'm so excited. I'm a really big Scream fan, so I'll let you guys know what I think. Good morning from me and Peach, exploring her little box. My boyfriend just got this chair, this like gamer chair that he built last night, so she gets a new box to play with. I did not read it all yesterday, so stressed about that, behind on my schedule, but what can you do? I was out, did some errands, and we saw Scream 5. It was disappointing. It was definitely a letdown, definitely the worst of the movies. If you know, you know. Something pretty upsetting happened for like people who are fans of the series, and I just think the writing was a bit cringy. I feel like the main lead, Samantha, her character, I just wish the actress was stronger to play that part, and the twist was just kind of a letdown. Anyways, I have a bunch of stuff to do with work and with this course I'm taking, but hopefully I can actually read today. Peach. What are you doing in there? Oh. Hey guys, so it is now the next day and I'm at 65% of the way through the book. Been a bit stressed, been a little bit overwhelmed. Yesterday I was trying to print something for this course that I'm doing. Of course, I haven't used my printer in years, so it was not working. Went out, bought ink, spent like 50 bucks on that. Came back, still wasn't working. It's really frustrating. Of course, my boyfriend did end up fixing it, God bless. So was able to do that and do that little like mini assignment, so feeling better. However, I'm not feeling great about the book, unfortunately. It's kind of reminding me of when I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown, around this time last year, actually. It's like where I don't hate the book, but it's just not really for me. I don't want to spoil, but you know it's a romance. You kind of know what's going to happen. I'll just say they kiss at 33% of the way through the book, I remember, which is like at least 20 or more percent too early for me for them to be kissing. They were having sex at the halfway point. It was just moving too quick for me. It is definitely not a slow burn. And the sex scenes, not really feeling them either. So it's just not really a book for me, and it's kind of what I feared when I found out it was going to be from that guy's point of view. I don't know if it's because I am like a woman. I don't want to read. I love how I said woman, like I was like ashamed to say it, but I am a woman, so I don't know, I don't want to read like a sex scene from a guy's point of view. Like, wouldn't you want to read like from the point of view you relate to? Like, I don't know. It does have like good representation for sure, like I already said about April's character, and then Marcus is dyslexic, and that's a big part of his character. Like, they are really focusing on it. I have obviously seen characters who are dyslexic before, but like I've never seen them kind of delve into it so much. And they're definitely, so I know there's a companion novel like with other characters in this world, and I'm pretty sure I know who that couple is. We are actually kind of seeing them in this book, and I'll admit I am kind of intrigued by that couple, so I might still read that one. But yeah, I'm feeling like maybe it'll be a 3-star, or maybe I'll make it even lower just because I'm trying to be more harsh with my ratings. Like I'm just trying not to rate like as nicely, I guess. I think that's mainly all for now. Hello, it is the next morning again. I did finish, spoiler alert, last night. Should have given an update in the moment, but I didn't. So I ended up rating this, or I think I'm gonna rate it 3 stars as I kind of predicted. Didn't hate it. There were definitely some good things about it, some kind of interesting representation. I don't think I mentioned April's job, but she was a geologist, which was sort of cool. I feel like you don't really see that job often. So she, you know, was nerdy about like rocks and science and stuff. Kind of reminded me of when I dated a geologist actually for a brief period of time, and he like showed me his little rock collection. But yeah, there were definitely good things, but at the end of the day, kind of what I already said, just like too sexual for me. The couple got together too quickly. Like if you want a couple where you're like seeing them together a lot of the time and not really like having that build up to them getting together, then this would be for you. I feel like it's probably also more for you if you are into fan fiction, just because you might relate to the characters more. I never got into fan fiction, writing or reading. I think it would be great for people who are really involved in that, especially because there are kind of little snippets throughout the book which are kind of cute of different fan fictions that the characters would write, or sometimes it would be a little like transcript from Marcus's like movie scripts. I thought that aspect was kind of fun, like kind of like a multimedia thing. I also kind of liked the family issues that they both had. They both kind of had toxic parent situations, and I thought that storyline was sort of interesting for both of them. But the main conflict was definitely annoying. Like the third act conflict, it was something that definitely could have been avoided, and didn't love that. So yeah, overall, like more of a disappointing read. I wish I had known like how steamy it was going in, and I wish I had known it had that male point of view. But really hoping the next two will not disappoint me like this. I think I'm gonna start You Deserve Each Other next. Yeah, it's Friday, so love that. I hope the day goes by quick, but still have like some stuff to do for that assignment that I think I've mentioned, or maybe not, but it's a book design assignment, so maybe I'll show you guys what I've been working on later. I don't know. Okay, since I got my printer set up, which I think I mentioned, now I can actually add the book covers to my book journal that I have and actually complete the pages. So, look at that. Just the printer keeps printing too dark, which then makes the color of the book cover not match the one I used for the typing. But I'm trying to work on that. How did this one turn out? I think better. I think the coloring's better actually on this. So I might have figured it out. But yeah, yay, exciting. Hey guys, I have been reading You Deserve Each Other, and I am 35% of the way through, and I'm actually really enjoying this book. I'm definitely liking it a lot more than spoiler alert. As you guys know, as I kind of mentioned, we're following this couple who are already together, they're engaged. We did get this little clip of them like at the beginning of the relationship when things were like new and fun, but now it's 2 years later and they are engaged and things are not the same. What are their names? I know the guy is Nicholas. What the frick is the girl's name? Sorry, I cannot for the life of me think of this girl's name right now. But anyways, they are like planning the wedding, or like Nicholas's mom is planning the wedding. We are from the girl's point of view and just hearing about how unhappy she is in the relationship and how like rude Nicholas is, like all the things about him that bug her, all the kind of rude things he does. And it's very entertaining to read about, honestly. I ironically was kind of waiting to see if we were gonna see Nick's point of view as well, which is ironic because I normally don't like that. I've said that a million times, but I was like, okay, we're seeing her point of view of why she's hating him, blah blah blah. So I was interested to see if like he would get a point of view, and then we'd see from his perspective why he hates her and what she actually does wrong, and how it's like some sort of big miscommunication. But we aren't. We're only seeing her point of view. So that's still good. That is still good and what I wanted. And I think that's what makes me more invested. It's like when you don't know what the other character's thinking. Like we don't really know what Nicholas is thinking, but something happens where she just kind of like makes an assumption that he is trying to break up their relationship, that he's doing things to annoy her on purpose. So then she decides to start doing that. So it's not really like an open thing. It's just kind of her making an assumption, and I just feel like it's gonna be wrong. Like he's not actually trying to annoy her or something, but she now is trying to annoy him and doing everything she can to sort of piss him off. And it seems like he might be doing the same thing, but I suspect he's not actually. But it's just like this really fun sort of dynamic. I could see why people maybe would think like the characters are a bit annoying, or at least our main girl, but I'm not really being bothered by it. I think it's pretty fun, just like with how much they hate each other right now. And I'm really looking forward to like just starting to have nicer moments when they're reconnecting. And like I know there's gonna be tension, but that's sort of me looking ahead. But right now, they really do not want to get married to each other, is what it's seeming like. And just to give you sort of a look into the dynamic, it's because like Nick, one of the big problems is that Nick is from like a rich family. He's also a dentist, so he himself is also making good money, but his mom is like very controlling, and so our main character doesn't like how he acts around the mom, and she also doesn't like the mom, who's like basically controlling everything about the wedding because they are paying for it, so they kind of like have that control. And she is from a family that's not as well off. Her family's like doesn't live close either, and she just works at this like junk store. It's literally called like the junkyard. They sell like random stuff. She doesn't really have much of a career. So interesting dynamic. Don't know if I'll read anymore tonight because it's after 11 and like I'm tired, but I'm glad that I'm liking it. It's next morning, having a little snack, granola bar. Before I head out, I'm getting the 3rd shot of vaccine, but I have type 1 diabetes, so since I'm going to be walking, which I don't normally do in the morning, just had a little snack to keep my blood sugars up, because it would be really embarrassing to have a low blood sugar at the freaking pharmacy. So yeah, up bright and early. Guys, I had to update you. I'm at only 51%, but I'm enjoying this book so much. Like, you need to read it. I'm dying laughing, and I do think the vaccine is hitting me. I'm acting like it's an edible, like it kicked in, but like my arm is hurting a lot. And I kind of do feel like a weirdness in my brain or something, like a fogginess. So maybe that's making it like funnier to me, but I'm cracking up so much. Like I keep telling my boyfriend all these jokes that happen. I literally had a tear running down my face from laughing. So I don't know if I'm just in a state right now, but this book is hilarious to me. And I wouldn't even call it romantic. Like it's honestly not romantic. It's just hilarious. Like this is for if you want a comedy. The main character, do I remember her name now? Naomi. Yes, I remember it. She is like delusional. Like I genuinely think something's wrong with her, but I think like it's in a comedic way. Like she is so mean to Nick. It's at a point where you see that like he is the one being tortured by being married or engaged to her. Like she is taking things way out of control with this like revenge prank thing, and he is actually doing some nice things sometimes, but she like thinks he's being mean, and just the things that she says and the way that she thinks is hilarious. So I'm really enjoying this book. I highly recommend, but it's like really out there. Like I'm only halfway through, but it's not really a book where you're like, oh, I want to swoon over the couple. Like this is literally about a couple that like hates each other and are trying to ruin each other's lives, especially her. It's funny. It reminds me of like something like Bridget Jones, or like some sort of like cheeky book like that where the character is just very out there and like not really real, you know? Yeah, it's just so fun. And here's your daily peach update. Aww. Guys, guys, I finished You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle, and it was such a good book. I already said that, but yeah, it stayed great for the second half as well. It definitely got more romantic. I think when I last checked in, like, it really was just these characters hating each other, mistreating each other, a lot of miscommunication going on, which was hilarious. But the second half really is where they start to get reintroduced to each other and realize what both of them are doing wrong in the relationship and what they can be doing to make their partner feel, important and like they love each other. I feel like it had a really good message, and it was kind of a unique story because it was that second chance romance trope, which you don't see as often. It wasn't like you were seeing them fall in love for the first time, you were seeing them fall in love for the second time. I really enjoyed it, especially as someone in like a long-term relationship. I feel like it was like more relatable for me, I guess. Not that I have had any like things so dramatic like that happen, but I did move in with my boyfriend like during a pandemic. It's been, an adjustment. There's definitely more like fighting, just being around each other more, and like miscommunications happen, or like you just kind of stop appreciating the other one because you get so like comfortable in the relationship. And I feel like this book really demonstrated that, and I loved it. I loved both of the main characters, and I just loved seeing their relationship. It was great. So I'm giving it 4.5 stars. I have yet to give a romance 5 stars. I don't know if I should start giving them 5 stars, but I think 4.5 is like the highest I've ever rated a romance. Those are like my top tier romances. So this is definitely one of them. It definitely is one of them. And it's funny because Chandler Ainsley, who's a really big romance booktuber, I follow her, and I saw she gave this book only like 3 stars, and she mentioned it was weird that it was written like a thriller. And I kind of agree. Like, it's written in this kind of weird way. Not many romances are written this way, and maybe that's why I liked it so much, because I love thrillers. But I see what she means. Like, in a way, it's almost written like a thriller, because the main character sometimes is like questioning the guy's motives so much and stuff, which you see, more in like a domestic thriller or something rather than a romance. Anyways, I'm very happy with this book, and now let's see how I feel about the third and final book in this video. We had one that was more of a miss, and then one that was definitely a hit. So let's see how I like From Lukov with Love. Hey, it's later in the night now, and I have reached 30% of the way through From Lukov with Love. So just checking in. This book is independently published, I'm pretty sure, and I'll just say I can kind of tell it's very wordy. Like, it's very long, each of the chapters, which is annoying. Like, it just makes it not as enjoyable to read when like the chapters are so long. We're not getting those like regular breaks, and it's very, very wordy where I'm reading it and I'm like, there's a lot of this that could be cut down and cut out, at least in the beginning part especially. So there's that. One other thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way is there is a little bit of like body shaming and like fat phobia going on, which I actually do think I heard about this regarding this author. I want to say it was even Chandler Ainsley maybe that mentioned this, that Mariana Zapata has a lot of like comments about people's weight in her books. And I know that our main character is an athlete. She's a figure skater, so you do have to, be fit and everything for that, and have like a leaner body. Obviously that would make it easier to do skating and all the tricks and everything. But I just don't like how the characters are kind of talking about our main character's weight and sort of just like body shaming her. Especially our main character Ivan, our love interest Ivan, his nickname for her is literally Meatball. Like, I guess because she's round like a meatball. Like, I don't know, but I don't really like that. I don't read bully romances for a reason. I don't really like that idea. I of course do like bickering and enemies to lovers, like we know that, but I don't like if it reaches the point of like fat shaming. So I'm trying to look past that, but I hope that, as the book goes on, like, he will get redeemed. Similar to You Deserve Each Other, right? Where they're being mean to each other, and then it got better. So, but it's a slow burn, so it might be a while. But yeah, I think I already kind of set the plot. We're following this figure skater. She's like 26. She used to have a partner who like dumped her, so now her career is not looking so great. But then this guy, Ivan Lukov, he's like a really famous and successful figure skater at her club, and he asked her to be his partner for like a year when his partner is on a break. And this is obviously a great opportunity for her, because if she partners with him for a year, she has a good chance of winning and getting like first place at some competitions, which she never has before. He has whatever reasons that he chose her, but they have a past of hating each other. The reason they know each other is because they both skate at the same rink, and she is friends with his sister. So since they were young, they just got off on the wrong foot and literally just lived to insult each other. So yeah, it's pretty entertaining. It's very similar to Spinning Out. I'm literally just picturing the cast from that show as the people in this book. Oh, the one other thing that I didn't like, so our main character, I'm sorry I'm forgetting her name again. That keeps happening, but she has like a million siblings, and there was this one scene where her brother was in it and they're calling him Jonathan, and then sometimes they would call him Jojo, and it was really confusing because I wasn't sure if it was the same person or like if two of her brothers were there. But no, it's one brother that they call Jojo, but his name's Jonathan. And I'm just like, why wouldn't you just stick with one? Like, if everyone calls him Jojo, then call him Jojo. But don't be switching between calling him Jonathan and calling him Jojo. Like, I didn't know what was happening there for a second. There's just some little weird things like that where I'm like, okay, if this was traditionally published, like maybe someone would have caught these things. But yeah, I'm kind of getting tired of reading. I feel like I've been reading a lot this weekend, so I might not read again till tomorrow night. But yeah, it's the Sunday night blues. Back to work Monday. Hello, it is time for the next check-in. I got to 65% in from Look Off with Love. It's going pretty well. I'm still having those same issues that I mentioned. Those are kind of still lingering throughout, but it has gotten pretty cute. I like seeing this icy couple, get it, icy. I like seeing them starting to just warm up to each other, kind of smile, become friends. It's like, that is just the best part of an enemies to lovers, really, is like, I love that in-between stage where like they start to become friends before they like admit their feelings. It's really cute. There is still some annoying things, like it might sound mean. I might sound like a mean person, but I don't really like all the stuff with her siblings. As I said, she has like 4 siblings and her mom. When there's scenes with all of them, I just find it like very hectic, and it's almost like too cheesy for me, of like, oh, look at this family of like all these different people all like teasing each other and bickering, blah blah blah, like what a nice happy family. Like, I don't know, I just don't really care about those scenes. Another thing I wanted to point out is that Jasmine, our main character, actually has dyslexia. So that's sort of interesting. I've read 2 books in this blog with characters who have dyslexia, so if that's something you want to read about, like, here's 2 recommendations for it. Don't love that Ivan also kind of like makes fun of her for not being able to read, but I think that's the point, is like their relationship is that they tease each other about literally everything. And when you have a relationship like that, it's hard because people are more sensitive about certain things and you don't even realize, right? So he doesn't realize that that's more of like a sensitive topic for him to tease her about. But yeah, he's getting to be a lot more nicer now. We've had a couple tropes of like when they babysit together. I feel like that's a trope, like babysitting together. Didn't really care for that one that much. And then there was one of taking care of each other when you're sick. Jasmine got sick and he took care of her. Again, I feel like I'm not that big on that trope. I don't know, like it's kind of cute, but yeah, it's coming along pretty nicely. I like it for the most part. Hello, and welcome to the final clip of this reading vlog. I just finished from Look Off with Love. I'm very sad to say that I actually was quite disappointed with this last chunk of the book. As you guys saw, I had some issues with it, but overall I was having a pretty fun time with the slow burn romance, seeing Jasmine and Ivan's relationship develop from enemies into this cute friendship. Unfortunately, it just started to get pretty like stagnant for me and kind of boring. I guess there's such a thing as too slow burn. By the time that they did get together, it was not very good. Like, in my opinion, it was not very exciting. It was kind of weird. I wasn't even sure if they were getting together. Like, it wasn't like this big moment where the tension all came to a head and we had this really like cute moment of them getting together, it was like, it was so almost slow that I barely even noticed it happening, and I was like, are they together or are they not? Like, it was like they kissed and she didn't even react that much. Like, I don't know, it was like so much build up and then no real reward. In my opinion, it got pretty like cheesy. Just was not really what I wanted to happen, not the direction I wanted to go in. In a way, it also felt a little bit rushed, like it was building up to these competitions that they were going to be entering, and then we didn't get to see a ton of those. And then we had a classic like skip ahead 10 years epilogue at the end. I'm kind of sad that I ended up being disappointed. I'm gonna give it a 3-star rating because there were definitely still good elements in there, but definitely some things I didn't love. So this reading blog went okay. We had 2 3-stars that both kind of disappointed me, and then we had one book that really blew me away, which was of course You Deserve Each Other. I'm really happy that I did read that book. I feel like that is an underrated, underhyped book. I don't hear people talking about it that much, and I know that I'm pretty sure that author has some more books, so I'd be excited to read more from her backlist, but I'm not gonna be like rushing to read from the other 2 authors' backlist. Hope you guys enjoyed this little reading vlog. Actually, I say little, but I know it's gonna be really long. And I hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day. I think I'm uploading this after Valentine's Day. Hope you guys had a good time. I hope you will follow me on my other social media, which I'll link below, and you can see what I'm up to between uploads. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next week with a new video. Bye.